Check.
What's up, guys? I'm Eli. That's Jerry. This is episode 9, I think, of the Jerry and Eli Show. It's Dinger Tuesday, April 23rd. What a beautiful day it is. You know, to be alive and gambling on baseball, Jerry. How's it going, bud?
Is it a beautiful day?
It might be. Could be. Could be.
So it could be a beautiful night. It cannot be a beautiful day if the day already happened.
Echo? Oh, God. Not this again. Why is there an echo, Jerry? Do you know?
It's your fault. Whatever it is, it's your fault.
Probably true. Let's see what I can do about that. Audio settings? Oh, echo cancellation. Let's turn that on. Let's turn that on. Chat, how's that go? Super bad echo, apparently.
Super bad echo. It's on Eli's side. Thank you. Thank you.
How about that? Are we good now? Check. Hello? Why would I be echoing? That doesn't make sense. Okay. I think I fixed that. Jerry, you talk. Let's see if there's a desync.
They're saying Jerry is good. It's you.
I think we're good. Yep, we're good now. We're good. That's my bad. Usually it retains the settings, so usually I don't have to turn on the echo cancellation every time. I'm holding a baseball that we got at spring training last year. This ball was not dead. I guarantee you. This baseball was not a dead baseball. Can I go on a rant for a minute? Do you mind, Jerry?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The balls now, they're dead. Okay? I'm done debating with people on Twitter. I'm over it. I'm not doing it anymore. There's no way this is the same baseball that was being used last year. There's just no way. Okay? I was talking to a robot for a long time this morning. Helped me write some Python code because I don't know how to write code, but somehow I have a website that is, a large percentage of my income. But let me just tell you a little bit of the results here. Before I do, when you think of the biggest, there's been two kind of main arguments to, let's let it play out. Maybe they're not dead, right? Maybe the balls are the same. There's been a lot of cold weather is the big one. And then people cite sample size. The sample size to me is kind of a little crazy because there's so much baseball that gets played every day that like we have a large sample size. Relatively speaking to a full season, maybe it's not huge, but like there's a lot of we have a large sample size of baseballs being hit and baseball games being played because there are between 10 and 15, 16 games every single day. There's a lot of baseball games being played, okay? There's almost a full season's worth of game. One team's full season worth of games being played just on Tuesdays so far this season. We have enough sample size to know. And the weather, my argument to that is, when you think about how the weather would impact the flight of a baseball, Jerry, would you think fly balls or line drives would be impacted more by cold weather?
I'd say fly balls, no?
I'm no meteorologist. I don't have a science degree. I say 100% fly balls because that is a little bit less of the bat doing the work, right? It's the initial exit velocity to get it to its apex, and then it's going to carry from there, right? And that's where, to me, all the cold air is heavier and the ball doesn't fly as far as cold. That's where it comes into play. I compared every single baseball that was hit last year and every single baseball that's been hit this year at the different combinations of rounded exit velocity and launch angle, right? So whatever rounds to 106 miles an hour with a launch angle of 19. There were 71. I tweeted this out. 71 of those baseballs hit last year. 12 of those so far this year. A difference in 23 miles an hour or 23 feet of carry distance. So 106 miles an hour exit velo, launch angle 19. Last year carried 362.7. This year 339.7. 23 feet difference. The top, what is that? Let me see. The top 7 differences are all line drives. So the exit velocity 102, launch angle 22, another line drive. Difference of 21 feet last year to this year. 100 miles an hour, 29 launch angle. I guess that's probably a fly ball, but this is all, it's not like the biggest differences that we're seeing are on sub 30 degree launch angles. So to me, there's no way this is weather. Is the weather having a little bit of an impact? A little bit, right? But there's no way a line drive at 106 miles an hour should be traveling 23 feet less than it was last year. At 102 mile an hour, 22-degree line drive, 21 feet less. It's not the weather. I'm done arguing with people on Twitter. I'm done with it. I'm not doing it anymore. This is the end-all be-all. The ball is different. You can't convince me otherwise. Comments?
The dead ball, was it the dead ball year or one of the years after? Anyways, there was a difference in May. They added another baseball or something. It's I don't know why they do it. Also, side note, this opening day, Mike Trout, that home run he hit, if I'm not mistaken, looked like a juiced ball. I'm trying to think. Was it Mike Trout? I think it was the first home run of the year. Because I remember tweeting about it saying this is a good sign because Mike Trout did not think that it was a home run. He just hit a fly ball and it just carried out there. So, and there are some games where the ball looks juiced. There are two baseballs. That's what I'll say. There are two baseballs. Don't know how random it is. I'm assuming it's intentional. I'm assuming it's not random at all. Obviously, we have a million different factors. We know now that every stadium has a humidor. That they put these balls in. Before, when years ago, we knew it was just Colorado, right? Then we found out about maybe one or two other parks. They're in every park now. They're trying to keep these balls in the ballpark somewhat to make up for that whole juiced ball era that they had. Then they changed the balls, and now they still have humidors. So you have two factors now, right? They try to counter the juiced balls, but now they added another ball and they still have the humidors in these stadiums. So I don't know, man. There are some games though where you're seeing 4 or 5 home runs. You're like, holy shit, we're back, right? No, there's just two different baseballs, and now we got to predict, and we don't have the insight as gamblers, as fans, on which game it's gonna be, which game is gonna have these different kind of balls,
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to rant about, just if you'll allow me another 30 seconds. Another thing I keep seeing in my replies when I tweet about this is why would Major League Baseball want to eliminate the home run? It's like it's the most exciting. Hey, stupids, look at the rule changes they've made in the last 2 years, right? Everything they're doing is to counteract this whole 3 outcome baseball that we saw for how many years, right? There was a while where like Joey Gallo was really good at baseball, and all he did every time he went to the plate, he either struck out, hit a home run, or walk. They want to get rid of that. They want to get so far away from that. So they changed the pickoff rule. They changed all of these things. They changed, what else? What the shift rule? They want small ball to matter. They want more exciting, long, drawn-out innings. They want base running to matter more. They want it. This is the game that they want, right? So don't tell me this isn't in the Major League's best interest. I don't know if it is or not, but they at least think it is, right? That's a dumb argument to tell me that Major League Baseball wouldn't want to do this because they want to see more home runs. No, they don't. They want to see bases being stolen. They want to see exciting, long, drawn-out innings, long rallies. And I think they got kind of what they wanted last year, right? Because the Arizona Diamondbacks made the World Series, the team that the young make things happen on the base paths team. And then the Rangers, I think, are sneaky right behind there. That's a team with a lot of speed up top and a lot of youth down at the bottom that can run and do all that too, have a little bit more power. And they won the World Series. Size of the base has changed. So all of these, there has not been a single rule change in the last couple of years that hasn't been around small ball in some way, right? I would even say the extra innings rule, right? It used to be you want your power hitter up in the 10th, 11th inning. No, you don't want your power hitter up. You want a high on base percentage guy that's just going to put the ball in play. They want more balls in play. So that's a dumb argument. Anyway, you got any NBA bets tonight before we jump into baseball? Go Pacers! Boom baby shirt on. I don't know. Neesmith threes maybe. I don't have a bet, but
no, I have been enjoying the games though. Like gambling basketball has not been kind to me this year, and it's the same for a lot of people. It's not just me, because obviously there was blowouts left and right. It was just chaos. But as a fan, it's drawn me back in, especially for the playoffs. There's been a lot of good games.
This is why I write things down, because I have another thing I want to rant about for another 30 seconds.
Good.
This is a little bit conspiracy theory, right? So we don't have any evidence of this. I'm not trying to use this platform to just start drama. It is also interesting. That last year, Tuesday was one of the better days for home runs. This year, FanDuel has had some level of involvement with MLB for a few years now. Beginning of this year, FanDuel is the presenting official sports book of Major League Baseball. That's interesting. The most popular bet, I would assume, on FanDuel for baseball is probably home runs. That's just interesting. Those are just two things that I find interesting. The beginning of this year, they signed a big deal to be the official sports books of Major League Baseball, and all of a sudden we see home runs drop 2.5 home runs per game last season on Tuesdays, 1.8 this season, 1.8.
I did not know that.
Interesting. Just two things that I find interesting. Correlate them however you want. Good argument. Didn't think of it that way. Thank you. I should catch up on chat. I've been ranting for a while. Bohm, Henderson, dingers. A lot of people are on dingers. I saw somebody say a lot of people on Alec Bohm tonight. That's a little tough for me because I think I am also on Alec Bohm. Spoiler alert. 200 likes, and Jerry shows his feet. Listen, Jerry would show his feet for a lot less than 100 likes. But if you want to get us to 100, that'd be cool.
Yeah, 100 likes, I'll definitely show my feet.
Yeah. Jason, that's your name. Dang it. I knew your name. Jason in the chat is J Ferry in Discord, and been part of my research team for a long time. And he's always Jeffrey in my head because his Discord name is J Ferry. And I always forget what his actual name is. I called him Jeffrey today. It's like, nope, his name's not Jeffrey. All right. First game. Let me scroll up. Red Sox Guardians. Red Sox big hit today. Tristan Casas out sometime with a rib. That sucks. That guy's good. Manuel Valdez, sneaky, been hitting the baseball hard. Maybe he runs into one. Cleveland, I think, is playing a little bit better than they should be. Winning more games than I would have expected them to. We'll see if it holds up. But anything piquing your interest here in this game? I don't have anything here.
No, I didn't touch this game.
All right. Another thing I will point out, because of the discrepancy of 2.5 home runs per game last year on Tuesdays down to 1.8 this year. Last year, it made sense financially and profit and loss to bet a home run basically almost every single game for Dinger Tuesday, because you could count on in the long term getting about half your money back, because again it was like 2.5 home runs per game on Tuesdays. So long term you're going to get $12.50 in bonus bets per game. This year it doesn't make sense. So I've got 3. Last season tonight I probably would have had more like 6, 7, 8 plus. I've got 3 tonight. So what I'll say is let's keep an eye on how the ball is flying. I think we will start seeing it fly better, at least as the weather continues to get warmer. But don't be afraid to, you don't have to bet every game. Absolutely. It'll be tough. Went home, no home run that game. This would be a potential no home run game for me. I am high on Tanner Houck, even though he's had a couple of rough out. I guess he's only had one rough outing this season. And Ben Lively is kind of okay. It's a big ballpark. I don't think the weather is great. So yeah. And another two teams that are kind of have a lot of line drive contact guys. So I wouldn't be mad about a no home run bet here. Brewers and Pirates. Bailey Falter going for the Pirates. Who's pitching for Milwaukee? I actually don't know. Myers. Tobias Myers. 25-year-old. I think he's making his major league debut. I don't know. We'll see. Nothing from me in this game, although I think Jack Sawinski is close. I don't know what to make of this Brewers lineup as a whole. O'Neal Cruz is fun, but you got anything jumping out at you here?
So, Jack Sawinski, you say is close. We're not betting him versus a lefty here, right?
Correct. Wait. Myers is a righty.
Am I?
What's that?
Motherfucker.
Tobias Myers is I think is he making his major league debut, chat? He hasn't pitched this year. He's 25 years old. I don't know if he pitched last year at all, but
debut.
He is right-handed.
Well, that changes everything. I have now that changes everything.
You need me to fill some time for you here while you rethink it?
At one point, is O'Neal Cruz gonna get hot?
That's the question, because I'll be honest with you, like if O'Neal Cruz and Jack Sawinski both are going at the same time, and you have Brian Reynolds kind of doing what he does at the top of that lineup, this Pirates team, I think, could win more games than a lot of people expect them to, right? Because everybody knows how high I am on O'Neal Cruz. I think he is, just scratching the surface of what he could be as a baseball player, and would be, a top 3 player on most teams in baseball. Jack Sawinski can hit the piss out of the wall when he gets going. I like this Pirates team if they can put it together there. They kind of haven't yet, and almost never have as an organization. But what do you think? You betting Sawinski? You betting?
I mean,
O'Neal?
I love Jack Sawinski. If there's anybody that can overcome a dead baseball, it's actually O'Neal Cruz, though.
That's true.
You can literally throw Play-Doh at this guy, and if he barrels it up, he has tremendous power, ridiculous power. The only problem is his at bats have been looking funky. His eye at the plate hasn't been very good, but he's still, when he barrels it up, it's the same thing. Aaron Judge is a monster. That guy can hit the ball close to 500 feet when he barrels it up, right? He's having just as bad, if not a worse stretch. We all make fun of Jackson Holiday, right? Not make fun of him, but we all talk about, wow, this kid is struggling really bad.
Judge is right there.
Judge is actually worse. They have the same amount of hits in that span, and Judge has more strikeouts. It's actually incredible. So I don't know. I'm thinking about taking a shot on O'Neal Cruz. All right, so this season, right, we go through the data, the analytics, and for what? It ends up coming up empty most of the time anyway, because we're watching the fly out, 365-foot fly out, home run in 4 out of whatever parks. The ball is dead. Today's vibes. O'Neal Cruz is going to barrel one up. That's my first hit. That's it. Okay. O'Neal Cruz is going to barrel a baseball today. Eli, give me a break. I'm not going to throw 100 stats at you. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to put it into the universe. Speak it into existence. O'Neal Cruz is going to hit one 447 feet to right center field.
I don't mind that. Out of you. And, I feel like you're really good at analyzing numbers, and I think you historically don't get enough credit for that as you should. People kind of think, you're more of a vibes eyeball test guy when you are, but you work a lot more stats and data than most people think. I think you're at your best when you are kind of using your eyeball and all of that as kind of the key driving factor. I'm trying to get the picks here on the screen before everybody starts yelling at me. So let me see if I can do that.
I have written novels in Discord, and you've seen it.
Oh yeah.
When I get pissed off, I will write an entire 5-paragraph novel, and then just, it's baseball. It's a game of failure, but it is so frustrating and disheartening when you have everything you need. It works out. You even get the player even gets the pitch that you're looking for, and he hits a sharp line drive right into a glove. It can be very aggravating. But there's some days where you just gotta have fun and just say, you know what, this guy's gonna hit a home run today, and that guy is O'Neal Cruz.
I love that out of you. Somebody asked about Gary Sanchez, and I just looked really, really weird. I have Gary Sanchez 5 total at-bats against a lefty this season. That just seems weird. I don't think Bailey Falter is very good. I don't know what the number is on Gary Sanchez, but that's definitely interesting. And 1 home run on the season, I would hope it would be above plus 500. If it is, that's definitely interesting. I wouldn't mind that bet either. Not one that I took personally, but all right, let's talk about Great American Ballpark. You want to? Christopher Sanchez, Andrew Abbott. Interesting game. I think Ballpark Pal had this game at like plus like 30% for home runs, which is a little weird because it is supposed to be raining. Again, it's still the best ballpark for my money consistently for home runs across Major League Baseball. The wind is going to be blowing out, or at least out to left field, I think. And it's going to be like 70 degrees first pitch, drop into the low 60s, high 50s towards the end. But move away from Gary. What's wrong with Gary? Plus 440 for Sanchez.
Disgusting.
That's where I might think about DJanalytics.com/Caesars has 2 boost coins. What is Slothful? What is his number on Caesars? Because if it's around plus 400 or better on Caesars, that might make sense to use a boost coin on Gary Sanchez, because I don't think you're gonna get. I'd be surprised if there were 3 home runs in the Brewers Pirates game. I could absolutely see them being Gary Sanchez and Elio Cruz, right? But that might make sense to use a boost coin on series. On Dev, explain why. Explain why. Leave Gary alone. Move away from Gary. I'm not gonna. He's a very streaky hitter. He can look really bad at times. But explain a little bit. But yeah, I might look at a Caesar boost coin for Gary Sanchez if you like Gary Sanchez. Anyway, I like Alec Bohm here. And we were speaking about my boy Jeffrey. Well, I was speaking about him a little earlier. I threw Alec Bohm out in the research chat this morning, and I've been doing this thing where I've been kind of trying to mix a little bit of film and use my eyeballs more instead of relying just on numbers. So I went back and watched a bunch of Alec Bohm at bats. Jay Ferry pointed out that like around April 15th, he changed his stance. He's got his hands out for a little bit further away from him. You look at his stance from this year versus last year. Last year, he was like setting up way open, almost like I don't know. Changed his stance a lot from this year to like opening day. It looks like he's starting to open it up and work back to how he was last year. And his launch numbers since he made that change around April 15th have gotten a lot better. Have I said... No, this is not even the right person. I'm betting Alec Bohm. I'm not even talking about the right person. I'm completely distracted trying to do too many things at once. Looking at the wrong write-up here. Quick stats on Alec Bohm. He is a popular pick today. Do with that whatever you want. 27% fly ball rate in the last 5 games. He is hitting the ball 7.4 miles per hour harder on average in the last 5 days in the season. So he, for my money, has been the best hitter on this Phillies lineup overall. And in the last 5 days, he's hitting the ball 7.4 miles per hour hard. That's a big jump. 700 plus mile per hour exit velocities in the last 5, and the 9th highest average exit velocity in the last 5 games of 90.14 in all of baseball. Abbott hasn't looked bad at all. He's given this Reds team a lot of innings, which they need because that bullpen I don't think is very good. But he's given up 3 total home runs in the last 3 starts. Pitching back in Cincinnati, I like him to give up a couple tonight. I think Alec Bohm was going to be one of them. You got anything in this one?
So I'm going to do something absolutely disgusting. It's really gross. It's gross because of the odds that we're getting for it. That's the bottom line here.
Okay.
I'm betting on Castellanos to get his first home run of the season at plus 370.
Okay.
It is absolutely a tragedy. When I looked at the odds for this guy to get his first home run, you're giving me plus 370. You can't do better than that. The guy has been horrendous this season, right? Yeah, he's coming around now. He's starting to hit the ball hard. Obviously, a few games ago, we saw a nice extra base hit, a triple out of him. He's slowly making his way back. There's a lefty on the mound. This lefty is no slouch, though. He's been pretty good last season. This season, he looks sharp. He doesn't give up a ton of home runs, but when the conditions are there, you got to take a shot. Unfortunately, the odds are just ridiculous. I was expecting. This is what I was talking about. Like every once in a while, we talk about the same topic. It's about the names. The odds makers will make set odds based on names. Castellanos is a popular name for the last how many years now. So they're not going to give you a plus 600, plus 700, which should be his odds, right? The guy hasn't hit a home run all season, but he's a name. People are going to bet him, and I'm the idiot that's going to bet him today because for the sake of Dinger Tuesday, I want this guy to hit his first home run of the season, and I want all the credit when he does. You know what I mean?
I don't mind that. I think he hasn't made. I filter my list out to like 5, like X amount of batted balls in the last 5 days, and he's not even showing up for me. But somebody said he looked better. He does. I do think he's coming around. I looked into him a little bit earlier. And who was that? The Dev. Dev was saying leave Gary alone because he's on him and he doesn't want everybody on him. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't mind Gary tonight. But this is a game to me. We talked about being careful, being selective. This is a game to me where you can absolutely see, you know, three home runs. I think is kind of the sweet spot. To you know, long term be profitable almost no matter what. With Dinger Tuesday, I could see 3 to 4 to 5 home runs here pretty easily. I think there's 2 pitchers that are pitching above their skill level on the box scores again, and a lot of pop up and down both of these lineups. I think I would not be shocked at all in this ballpark, especially to see 5 home runs here. So Jerry's betting Nick Castellanos. I'm betting Alec Bohm in the Phillies Reds game. Tell me you have something on Dodgers Nationals with Paxton and Corbin going while I update the ticker here. Anything?
I feel like Patrick Corbin pitches every Dinger Tuesday.
I know.
It just feels like that, right?
It kind of does.
The conditions aren't great, no? It is. Oh no, it's
okay.
about even.
It's okay,
good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, while you're thinking, I can go. This is the guy that I was thinking about, that I kind of, we were doing a film study on in the research chat. Riley Adams is plus 560. It's Patrick Corbin. This might be a bad way to look at this, but I kind of think anytime the Dodgers are playing this year, this might be the best offensive team we've ever seen on paper. And the most stacked, I guess, power-wise we've seen on paper. So I think it makes sense to have action on Dodgers games. You look at the odds for home runs in this game, I think you see 7 Dodgers before you get to a Nationals player, right? So I think multiple Dodgers could go yard tonight. It could be anybody 1 through 9, basically, and it's hard for me to kind of nail down who it's going to be. So I'm taking a stab on Riley Adams. This is the guy who made a coming into opening day, made a stance, a swing change. Looks like he's adjusting back to kind of more how it looked last year with kind of closed up a little bit. Launch numbers have looked really good since he's made that change, and he has not seen a lefty since he's made that change. Historically, a guy who has hit lefties much, much better than righties. Plus 560, Riley Adams against James Paxton, who I don't think is very good. And you also get the Dinger Tuesday bump from this super stacked Dodgers offense against Patrick Corbin. What do you think about this one?
If I'm going to take somebody just off the rip, right? Just looking at this game, and you see Patrick Corbin on the mound, Dodgers lineup. Obviously, the first name that pops into your head, obviously, is Teoscar Hernandez, right? You think of lefty, you think of Teoscar Hernandez. I think Teoscar being in that lineup overshadows the fact that this was last season, without even a blink, a thought in my mind, I'm betting on Will Smith, right? Versus a lefty. That's where his power is. Now we have a bad lefty on the mound. There was also a point last year, if you remember, Mookie Betts did not miss hitting line drives versus a bad lefty. It was every fucking at bat. He was either hitting a double, not a triple, but he was roping the ball. A lot of home runs too. There's a lot of potential for this lineup to just go crazy.
There was a several month, I think, span last year where Mookie Betts did not swing and missed against a lefty fastball, like months.
Particularly a bad lefty.
Yeah.
If there was a bad lefty on the mound, it was almost automatic he was hitting a home run. It was actually insane. And you're the one that brought that to my attention. But the reality is, I really want to bet Will Smith. I don't know what it is. There's so many options you could do here, right? This lineup can obviously cream left-handers. Ohtani is not a liability versus left-handers at the plate. Freddie Freeman can hit lefties. You have lefties that can hit lefties, and then you have righties that absolutely rock lefties. The Dodgers might score 15 runs today. I'm just going to go with Will Smith. You got to pick one, right? You got to pick one. I'm going with Will Smith.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, Will Smith, Mookie Betts. I mean, Teoscar Hernandez. Almost any righty in that Dodgers lineup has a solid chance to hit one out tonight. Again, the weather isn't great, but it's not bad. It's pretty much a neutral. And for what it's worth, the Nationals ballpark, I think I mentioned this last week, I don't believe to be super hitter friendly, but last year and this year combined, visiting teams in Nationals ballpark are like top 3 in total home runs because a mixture of the ballpark isn't bad for hitters, and also they generally don't have a whole lot of pitching. Road teams, generally do pretty well in that stadium. Somebody asked about C.J. Abrams. I think he's really good. I like him more against right-handers, against righties a lot. That's why that number is so big. If it was a bad righty out there, I think C.J. Abrams is around plus 400. He's a little bit different of a hitter against lefties. Is that would be why his number 1 is. But that's not a bad bet because I think he's really good at baseball. You mentioned the reverse splits. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Lane Thomas. Listen, me and Lane Thomas have an interesting relationship. I think he's really good at baseball. I bet on him several times last year, and the long runs that he went on with like one game of doing nothing, that was always the game that I bet on him. So me and Lane Thomas are kind of on the outs. I might dig back in, but for my money, like I said, if you're going to pick a Nationals player, it's Riley Adams to me. 96.9 exit velocity fly ball line drives last 5 games with 21% fly ball rate. James Paxton isn't good either. Kenta Maeda and the Tigers against Ryan Pepiot, and the Tampa Bay Rays. This is another game that I keyed in on because Kenta Maeda is so bad that you could easily see. I mean, I would not be shocked to see 5 home runs in this game either, even though I think the Tampa Bay changes that they've made to the stadium have made it more pitchers friendly, but it is in a dome. Weather's not really going to be a factor at all. The humidity, I think, matters a little bit depending, but it's still in Tampa. Ball has a better chance to fly here than anywhere other than Coors Field, I think, or any other domes. So personally, I am on Yandy Diaz, which is a bit of an interesting pick. Has only hit 1 home run this season, but he's been hitting the hell out of the ball. He's had a little bit of trouble lifting it. Or lifting it with pop. I do have him at 18% fly ball rate, but all of the really hard balls that he has hit are grounders last few days or line drive. But he's had 100+ exit velocity, at least one in like the last at least 6 games. So he is hitting the ball hard. I just need him to lift the ball a little bit against Kenta Maeda's really, really bad splitter fastball 4-seam mix that Yandy Diaz historically has hit really, really well. Not accounting that Kenta Maeda has a bad version of basically all of those other than the splitter. Kenta Maeda has allowed 3 home runs in 2 different starts already this season. And this is a Rays team that has been a little bit tough to watch, but really good matchup for this righty heavy lineup. I could easily see 3, 4, 5+ home runs in this game, and I like Yandy Diaz at +6 something on FanDuel. What do you got?
I got nothing for this game.
All right.
That's not a bad pick, though.
Thanks, buddy.
Don't get used to it.
Paul Blackburn, who's actually been really good for Oakland this year. I didn't realize how good he's... 4 starts, Paul Blackburn. I'm talking about the Oakland A's in New York taking on the Yankees and Marcus Stroman. Paul Blackburn, 4 starts, 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs. 5 2/3, 5 hits, no runs. His last outing, he did go 5 1/3, 6 hits, and 3 runs. This is another guy, like, you think of Paul Blackburn, that's not the box scores that you think of seeing. Like, I don't think he's that good. I think he's maybe due to regress a little bit here. A bad righty, if you think Paul Blackburn is bad, is, kind of a great time to key in on a lefty on the opposite team in Yankee Stadium. Marcus Stroman looked pretty rough in that last outing. He did kind of limit the damage. But last couple starts has been trending the wrong direction for a guy that both of us think is good at baseball, Marcus Stroman. Tough for me, if you like Seth Brown, you could talk me into that. Lawrence Butler, I think, has gotten some love here. Juan Soto, I think, is a great look here, even though I think his odds probably not where they should be. But you could definitely see Juan Soto running into one. What do you think? You got anything on this one?
Yeah, I'm not touching this one either.
Blackburn is good. You think so? I don't know. I don't know. He's looked really good through 4 starts. I will be interesting to see what what those numbers look like come, June 1st. If they still look like this and he's given up, 3 runs every 4 starts. Yeah.
He's gonna get traded.
Like pitching like this, there's no way he's in Oakland at the end of the year. Absolutely not. He's on hell of a run right now. But yeah, interesting game here. Good ballpark. Weather I think is neutral, but 2 pitchers that haven't, look at them combined. These 2 pitchers, 2 home runs allowed on the season. So I don't know. If this next game had a righty on the mound for Atlanta, but it doesn't, I would be on probably Jesus Sanchez again. Trevor Rogers, Miami Marlins in Atlanta, where it's going to be hot, I think, and really good weather. Max Fried in the Braves. I am out here, but I do think we're on the cusp of a Jesus Sanchez run. What do you think?
Well, you could be on the cusp of a run, but right now someone else is on a run. Travis d'Arnaud is hitting the hell out of the baseball right now. It's actually incredible.
I saw at one point this weekend, sorry to cut you off, he had like 30% of the home runs in all of Major League Baseball. It's like, what?
He had 7% of the home runs for an entire weekend, was it, or something? Which is an absurd number. It's
that
just
day,
wild.
that one day he hit 3, I think it was like 30+% or something crazy.
Jesus not playing tonight. Jesus is always with us, all right?
It's because Fried is a lefty. Yeah. So you betting d'Arnaud?
No, I'm just bringing it up.
Okay, bet anybody in this one?
No.
Okay.
Are you?
No, I'm out.
All right. Jesus is out, apparently.
Yeah. Eric Fetty and the White Sox. Pablo Lopez in Minnesota taking on the Twins. I don't love this game either. I don't think Fetty is good. Pablo Lopez, I think, is good. Big ballpark, not great weather. Gun to my head, it would be Eddie Julian here, but I think I'm just out. You got anything here?
Nope.
Cool, let's move on to our favorite ballpark, Wrigley Field. JP France and the Astros, Jordan Wicks and the Cubs. Also nothing for me here. You got to think Alex Bregman's going to run into one soon. Has not hit a home run yet. Insane. There's a lot of kind of just streaky guys on this Cubs roster. Michael Busch went on a run there. Maybe it's Michael Busch. You got anything in this one?
This is my last pick, by the way.
Okay.
There's just some things you don't overthink.
Sure.
You could look at this a million different ways and try to predict who's going to hit a home run. Yordan Alvarez, that's it. I'm not going to spend too much time. Obviously, people get scared away sometimes. They see, lefty. Yordan smokes left-handed pitching.
He does.
He's a reverse split guy, and the conditions on paper, I don't know. Chicago's weird because you can have good conditions on paper. Those winds start swirling. Who knows what the hell happens? But apparently, Ballpark Pal has it as a positive today, which is rare. We haven't seen that too much from Wrigley this season. Give me the guy who can launch a 500-foot piss missile with his wrists. And I'm just going to walk away. I'm going to make that pick, my last pick. I did want to add another. I obviously wanted to bet Tatis and Coors Field.
True.
Something's weird about Coors Field this season. Obviously, we spoke about the conditions with the colder temperatures and it's the bad mix with the humidors or whatever it is. The ball doesn't travel as much. There's just no action going on in Coors Field so far to start the season. So it feels like they're getting the dead balls every single game sent to Coors, and it's just a bad mix.
Well, you would theoretically, right? If the balls are different and are not flying as far for whatever reason, where they change the seams and there's more drag, there's, I don't know what they do to this to make it fly not as far. But Coors Field to me would have the biggest negative impact because we've talked about it. The outfield is huge. And if the ball does not carry because it's at altitude, that is a pitcher park. That is a pitcher park. So that'll
Major,
be
yeah.
really interesting to see come, again, June 1st. If we're still seeing these low home run totals in cores, that will be, I mean, the end all be all. The balls are dead, right? Because that ball should fly. Like a 95 mile an hour fly ball that's a pop up at most field or at most ballparks should carry out in cores a lot of times. Kevin Gossman and Michael Waka, Toronto Blue Jays, another very pitcher friendly park, Kansas City, and the Royals. I'm guessing you're out here. Anything we need to talk about in this game? I'm also out. Actually, I think we're both out of bets, so this is going to be a long kind of drag to the end of the show. But Royals good? I think the Royals are actually good.
I mean, whenever you have conditions that because this is bad conditions, obviously ballpark factors, a little bit of weather, forget it. You're not hitting a home run here unless you absolutely nail the ball. But it's always good to take Bobby Witt Jr. on bases.
Yep. MJ Melendez, another guy that both of us are high on. Vinny cooling off a little bit. Salvador Perez been crushing the ball, though. Look for him against a lefty. Gossman is a guy who I think struggles against lefties, but he's looked really good the last couple starts. His last start against, I guess. Yeah. Kevin Gossman's probably due to give one up. I don't know that it's in this park, though. Tommy Henry, Arizona Diamondbacks. Steven Matz, St. Louis Cardinals. Ketel Marte is another one of those guys for me, man. We just have a weird relationship, Ketel Marte, I think, has been, one of the top hitters in baseball, depending on what metrics you look at. Every time I bet on Ketel Marte, I can't get him right. That's kind of tough for me, but Cardinals lineup, a little tough, although Goldschmidt did run into one yesterday, right? I think he's got 2 home runs now. That's interesting.
First extra base hit since opening day.
Wild. Anything you want to talk about here? I know you don't have any bets, but another couple of lefties here. You can key in on the right-handed batters a little bit, but just nothing for me there.
I took a shot on Goldschmidt a few days ago. Tried to summon him. Tried to break him out of this slump. It's always nice seeing him do it the next day or the day after. I don't know why the conditions are bad in this. Why does it say -21 for this game?
St. Louis, they're not far from us, and it's kind of shitty out. It's like rainy. It's kind of rainy, cold. I don't know what it is in St. Louis, but
Mass has looked pretty good this year.
Yeah, and honestly, Tommy Henry hasn't been good, but he's been keeping the ball in the ball. I mean, most starting pitchers giving up 1 per start, or going 4 or 5 starts, allowing 3 home runs isn't usually going to be at okay. He's letting people on base, and it's been more damage that way, but not really home run targets, either one of these pitchers, even if you don't think they're very good. And St. Louis, I think, is a bit of a pitcher friendly park anyway, if I remember right. Bryce Miller and the Mariners, Dane Dunning and the Rangers. I had take this, do whatever you want with this piece of information. I had Cal Raleigh written down, and I did not bet him. I think he's probably the short shot in this game, at least for the Mariners. Dane Dunning can struggle to get lefties out. Cal Raleigh, a much better hitter against the righties. Got a lot of pop in that bat. Doesn't have as much to show for it as I think most would have expected by now. But Cal Raleigh got in my head is probably the bet for me, but no bets for me in this game at all. What do you think about this one? Anything to add?
I mean, we talk about it all the time. When a guy's hot, doesn't matter if he just hit a home run. Doesn't matter if he just hit 2 home runs.
Yeah.
You stay with the hot guy. He's hit a home run in, I think, 3 of the last 4 games. And who knows when that streak is going to end. That could go 10 days. You know what I mean? He could hit 5 home runs in a 10-game span. So that's probably the pick you want to go with, especially in this matchup.
Rally's plus 320. This is another one, like, I think Dane Dunning is pretty good, and I also think Bryce Miller is good. This is another one. It's tough for me to see an outcome that ends with, 3+ home runs. I don't know what the Caesars odds would be if you like somebody here like Cal Raleigh, but check that out and use the Caesars boost. If the number isn't terrible, again, you can do heavyhittermedia.net/Caesars. Sign up. You get like a first bet insurance or something. 21 and over. 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a gambling issue. Assume I said all the other legal stuff I was supposed to. Michael King, the Padres, Ryan Feltner. and the Rockies in Coors Field, which we've talked about. I'm kind of out on Coors Field as a whole right now, unless there's a really, really good matchup with a really hot hitter up. It's kind of rough because, I mean, Michael King, I'm a big fan of. He gave up 4 home runs in one of his starts this season. Feltner giving up 3 in his last 2 starts. You could definitely see a path where if the ball is flying, there's a whole lot of home runs hit here. I just don't see it. McMahon, I guess, got into my head, is probably the pick. Cronenworth, I also had written down. But yeah, nothing from me here. Anything to add, buddy?
Yeah, my first thought when I woke up this morning is like, I'm just going to bet Tatis in Coors Field. But Coors Field's been a scam. It's been an absolute money pit for people. Expectations have been high in some of these games. There are some games where you know it's colder, and we know now that when it's a certain degree temperature, what was it, 50 something in the 50s? Anything under like 52, whatever it is.
I thought it was like 60, but
60?
I don't know that
high?
for sure. Whoever had that stat in chat, let us know.
It was a number. This is going back last year. I don't think the same person's going to be in chat. But we spoke about it last season, because with last season towards the end of the year is when we started having to figure out weather with Coors Field. It's just been absolutely miserable to bet on home runs over here. The ball's just not flying. We're seeing no home runs in these games. And there's some big power bats that have been visiting Coors Field lately. Just doesn't make sense.
Ryan McMahon against a righty at home last year was almost like an auto bet, and it's not like his launch numbers are a whole lot different. I think he's having a little bit more trouble lifting the ball, but yeah, I mean, Ryan McMahon at home against Michael King, who's given up some home runs this year, that would have been an auto bet like every Tuesday, almost every day. But yeah, that's tough.
We spoke about it like last year, and I don't even, did we work together the year before? I don't think we did. But that was my go-to was McMahon at home. It was weird. He only hit home runs at home in Coors Field. It was so whenever he was at home in a decent matchup, it was McMahon day. That was a big thing.
Grayson Rodriguez and the Orioles, who are just a fun baseball team. Griffin Canning and the Angels. I've seen Ryan O'Hearn mentioned. I've seen Gunnar Henderson mentioned. Yeah, I mean. I'm having trouble dialing in on this Orioles team. Every time I bet on O'Hearn, it's Gunnar. Every time I bet on Gunnar, it's O'Hearn. It's probably one of them. You could definitely see it. Griffin Canning, mid to say the least. Grayson Rodriguez, I think, is. I wouldn't be shocked if he ends his career with a Cy Young or two. In his trophy room, I think he's gonna come out being a really good pitcher. So. Anybody not named Mike Trout's tough for me to get on board with on the Angels, but yeah, Henderson, O'Hearn, even a Cedric Mullins has started to look a little bit better at the plate here for the Orioles. This is a fun baseball team. What do you think about this one?
Colton Cowser has been absolutely insane.
Him too.
Like you bet on somebody on the lineup, right? And this rookie just keeps hitting home runs. So you bet on Santander or anybody in his lineup, and all of a sudden you could just keep seeing this young rookie home run. What is he up to, 5 or 6 on the year?
6, I think.
I mean, he is absolutely insane. And all the hype is on Jackson Holiday, obviously. Another thing I want to talk about, that poor kid needs a break.
Yeah.
The fans are just laying into him. The media is laying into. There's been no player in baseball I could think of since maybe Bryce Harper that has had the amount of pressure that he's dealing with. Especially having a father in the league and, all the stories. He's just struggling at the plate. It happens. Aaron Judge is struggling worse than he is right now. And the New York media, I don't even think is attacking him as much as we're seeing all the stories about Holiday and his struggles. So,
yeah, Aaron Judge hit just broke. I see a little bit of that because I am a firm believer that Aaron Judge is going to figure it out. I have seen some tweets like Aaron Judge contract is the worst. Let's relax a little bit. I think he's going to be fine. We know what Aaron Judge can do. We only think we know what Jackson Holiday could do, as I guess the devil's advocate there. But yeah, I mean, I think Holiday is going to be fine. I agree with you. I also don't think you can send him down at this point. Maybe they end up having to do that if it keeps going like this. But if you send him down right now, I think that just kills that kid's confidence. But it puts the Orioles in a tough spot because I think this is an Orioles team that thinks they're good enough to contend, and I think they're good enough to contend too. And
I'm glad someone brought it up too.
There. What's that?
Jordan Westberg has been getting phenomenal odds, and he's showing a ton of pop. He usually bats any 7, 8. He's usually on the bottom of the order, which you don't like because a lot of times you get screwed out of that extra at bat. But he's another shocker. The whole lineup is just, besides obviously Jackson Holliday, the whole lineup has been surprising. Like you're just getting power from areas you're not expecting it. The Orioles are going to compete, man.
They're good. The Orioles are good, and that's the team that, you know, if I'm the Dodgers that just spent all this money, or you know, the Yankees who went out and got Soto, like that's the team I look at, and that are almost like the Rangers to me last year, where I was looking at around this time. Like that's a scary baseball team. And they're only gonna get better between now and October, right? Mm-hmm. Like as good as they look, imagine if Jackson Holliday is half of what he's supposed to be by October, right?
Oh yeah.
And that rotation is still not healthy. When healthy, I think that's going to be an elite rotation too. But hey, why the hell is Pete Alonso so high? I've seen a couple people asking about that. Severino, Webb, Mets, Giants. The ballpark sucks. The ballpark sucks in general. Add in dead balls, and it really sucks. I think that's probably, you know, the main reason. DJ Stewart getting a lot of love today. Nothing for me in this game, obviously. But what do you think about this one?
Yeah, if anybody can overcome a dead ball, it's Pete Alonso.
Sure.
Obviously, he just hit his first home run in 28 at bats. He was actually plus 600 yesterday, and I already had my bets in for the day. And I'm pretty responsible when I get to a point where I put my bets in and I allocate whatever I'm betting on the day. I'm just done. So I ended up seeing Pete's odds because I just don't even look at San Francisco games anymore, especially in San Francisco. It did come to my mind. I was thinking in my head, maybe Wilmer Flores, maybe Conforto as like, you know, little revenge dingers, even though it's years later. And then Pete Alonso's odds popped up. So it was plus 650 or 600. It was up there. And that's pretty insane.
AJ Eleni really wants us to know that it's plus 750.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy odds just because of the ballpark. That is actually insane, though. Plus 750.
That's crazy.
I don't blame anybody for taking a shot. I'm telling you right now, Pete Alonso, he's another guy like Jordan Alvarez. I've watched Pete Alonso, it feels like yesterday, by the way. Pete Alonso in the Futures game. Absolute murder to baseball. I was so excited for him to come up. He's at 199 career home runs now. Time flies. So he's looking for number 200. And he just broke his cherry. He broke that little slump of home runs yesterday. Go ahead. By all means. Plus 750.
That's a big number for a guy that
it hits for a lot of power.
Hits a lot of home runs for as long as he's healthy. I think that's going to do it as far as picks go. Here is the three-leg lotto that I put in. I played all these straight on Dinger Tuesday as well. Again, don't be afraid if you like, you know, if you think there's a game that you have a guy circled, but you don't see a whole lot of other home runs in, don't be afraid to head over to Caesars, check the odds there. You get 2 boost coins, djanalytics.com/Caesars. You also get a bet insurance, whatever, on your first one if you're not signed up. I mean, I like Alec Bohm, I like Riley Adams, I like Yandy Diaz. I played them all straight, and I played them all in a 3-leg lottery ticket. Let's hope we cause enough ruckus that either nobody bets on home runs, or you know, maybe Major League Baseball takes an interest. Yeah, Major League Baseball doesn't give a shit about us. We get some juice balls, or we just get some home runs tonight. Weather's going to keep getting warmer. It's going to keep warmer. It's going to keep getting better. Even if the balls don't change, we are going to see more and more home runs hit. Let's hope we get at least these 3 tonight. What do you think? You want to recap yours? Even though we got them on the top of the screen.
Who said Pete Alonso's from San Francisco? He's not. He's from Tampa. That's why for years I always said that he's going to try to make his way to Tampa. He's not from San Francisco. I don't know where you got that from.
Oh, you want to recap your bets? I can do it for you if you want.
O'Neal Cruz, Nick Castellanos is going to hit his first home run today. Left center field, absolute missile.
All right.
And I'm going to take full credit for this professional athlete hitting a home run. Will Smith, not the actor, not the pitcher, the hitter on the Dodgers, catcher. I just want to make that clear. Jordan Alvarez. We like to call this guy Yordong, right? Not Yordong, my dong.
Yep.
That's my chalky pick. That's one of the things. That's one pick I'm just not gonna overthink. The guy is gonna hit a home run today. I'm like 37% positive.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
I think that's going to do it, guys. Right at an hour. Heavyhittermedia.net/Discord. Sign up for the Discord. It's $25. You get all of our picks, all of this insight. I damn near wrote a book on these 3 picks in the Discord. I don't necessarily type all of that out every day, but that is the kind of level of thinking that goes into everything. We haven't seen the results that we would have liked to so far. Kind of dialing it in. I'm adjusting the approach a little bit, looking into more bases and hits, and I'm going to start digging back into the strikeout market as well. But it's Tuesday, so we're only betting home runs a day because it's Tuesday. Any closing thoughts from you, my best friend Jerry?
I would like to thank everybody for their time today.
Wow, look at you. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. Hit the like button on your way out if you don't mind. Helps us out a lot. It's free. Check out the Discord. Check out the books. Check out all that stuff. We'll be back at the latest on a Friday at 5:30. Might try to sneak in a game day or a day game show between now and then. Maybe like Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know. I like having my evening. So we'll see what happens. Appreciate you. Be nice to each other. Good luck on all your bets. And we'll see you Friday at the latest.